big part of this spring, Russell.
Yeah, she has, helping her sisters.
Her sisters in Barnes Hospital in St. Louis.
Well, coming right up here, folks, we got this Minneapolis Moline G1000 Vista, and this is our raffle tractor this year. So what we've got is somebody's going to win this thing after we get done with the parade. Sometime a little bit after that, they're going to get that drawing box, and somebody's going to win this tractor today.
2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock today, right there.
It's going to change ownership.
We've got Lane Ingram driving that thing, and we have Miss Taylor Franzen. There's Taylor Franzen waving. She is the Fisher Community Fair Queen this year. They haven't had that for about 40 years, they said, and they started that up again this year. So Taylor is from Gifford. Doc Franzen's daughter right there. Taylor, good to see you. Glad that you got to be Miss Fisher Fair, Miss Community Fair there. Like I say, there's that tractor somebody's going to win too.
I know that guy.
This guy right here.
The guy driving that tractor.
The pride of Naperville.
From Super M Studios, driving a Super M.
Super M Studios, Max Armstrong, the voice of agriculture. Thank you, Mr. Max. Come up here and help us there a little bit. We'll get a good voice.
He's got that Purdue hat on again, though, you notice.
He didn't even put it on backwards. Right here we got Mr. Dwayne Sluter with a family case. That thing's been the family all its life.
It was bought new at the Sluter farm, and it's been not far from Penfield his whole life. It ain't probably left 10 miles from home, I bet.
I bet you're right. Thank you, Dwayne.
I don't know why Carolyn ain't driving it, though. I told Carolyn she ought to drive that thing.
Power steering.
Now, who's this guy? Jim Waller. He lives just north of town here, about 3 miles. This was Dad's first tractor, and the first tractor he drove in the field. Jim Waller from Penfield.
Have you had any experience there, buddy?
1937, John Deere A.
Right behind that, we got a Farmall 1952 Super M, also belongs to Jim Waller, driven by Dave Cole, Gibson City, Illinois. Thank you, Mr. Cole. Got a nice number 16 plow behind there. I think that is number 16 plow.
Now we're going to have a Dannenberg here. We got a Dannenberg on the golf cart right here. No, we wasn't going to talk about you, Rich. We got Robbie driving here. From Sheridan, Illinois, driving a GB, 1955 GB.
LP.
It's Mark's boy, I believe. Sheridan and Newark. You know where Newark, Illinois is?
Sir, I certainly do.
Where that big Elvis Presley is by the old Ford dealer.
You got it.
Thank you, Robbie. How you like that big GB? Cool. Then we've got another Dannenberg tractor. We got Connor driving this one. It's a Massey 95, which is really a Minneapolis GB diesel, with a Massey grill and Massey paint. That's exactly what that is. Made by Minneapolis Moline, sold by Massey Ferguson. So Massey Ferguson dealers would have a big 100 horse, that 80 to 100 horse tractor to put in their lineup, because the biggest tractor they had at that time was the Super 90.
How about the headlights? Are they Massey's or Mini?
I can't tell you. Those look like Massey's.
They do look like Massey, but I wanted an authority on it. Right here we got
a chair over here, Max. I didn't think you went anywhere without your hay hook. Caught me off guard. Matt Johnson from Elkhart, Illinois. Matt's driving that nice 1600 Oliver right there. They've got nothing but Olivers over there at the Johnson families around that Elkhart cornland area. Thank you, Matt. That is a dandy. They took the place of the 88, basically, right there.
Here comes the Z-Man, Dean Zingery from Sandwich, Illinois, home of the Sandwich Fair, which I believe is celebrating its 125th anniversary this year, coming up in a few days.
Isn't that a big fair? Boy, that's really
It's a pretty big county fair, yeah. You know, it's the only fair that people out of Chicago know, so it's their fair. You know? It's 1961, Minneapolis Moline, GVI LP gas. And has a brown belly on it and a brown LP tank.
Dana Brown right there. Then we've got Mr. Zingray himself on that Massey 97 LP gas. Front wheel assist. This is also made by Minneapolis Moline. This would be a model 706 if it had the prairie gold colors to it. Mark Dannenberg's driving this one. That's Rich's boy. Dannenberg also drive a Massey 97 in that Illini State pulling circuit.
Here's Tom Gordon's Clark, his Clark tractor. It makes a good chore tractor. You get to see it all on that tractor, don't you? There's nothing hidden there. It's a hoodless.
Some of these are roadless tractors, but these are hoodless tractors. You go to Great Britain, they got some of them roadless tractors.
Now we've got Jim Balk driving Mike Freed's tractor. It's a Ford 2000, 1963 U.S. Army issue right there. Boy, that is a dandy. You know, now the U.S. government does buy several different things, and usually there's something odd and unusual about every one of them Army vehicles that goes from a tractor to an Army vehicle.
Is that got an air conditioner in it?
I don't know about air conditioning, but it might have air.
Hey, right there we got a really kind of a rare bird. That's an Oliver G1355 in 1974. Luke Miller from Francie Perry, Illinois. That's half M&M 1350. The other half is a 2255 Oliver. That's what's called crossbreed, Max.
When they made that in Charles City, Iowa, the motor was coming around the corner from the Minneapolis and the rear end was an Oliver, and they had to marry the two together somehow.
Different assembly lines, huh?
Massey Harris 55 from the Armstrong. That's Mr. Wes Armstrong, El Paso, Illinois, 1947 on steel wheels. Now, there's not too many 55s on steel wheels, but Wes Armstrong has about all the odd and unusual Massey Harrises in the world, Mac.
And they're going to have an annual Massey Harris Days reunion next June in El Paso. That's June 6, 7, and 8 at their place. Here comes a John Deere. A John Deere H. Nice little tractor made in 1947. Andy Blackford from Rankin.
His grandpa got that in a couple of buckets. There's not much to them. He put all them together and found some wheels, and away he went.
This is also the next tractor, a Blackford tractor. Dean Blackford owns it, driven by his son Jeff Blackford. John Deere 4320 with that sign. Boy, I hope it don't hit that wire up there. Thank you, Jeff. I made him look, didn't I?
Yeah.
Boy, I just cleared by about 5 inches.
Right behind there, we got a John Deere 5020, 1969 model, Nathan Elliott, Potomac, Illinois. That's got one of them things that sounds like a whistler under the hood. That's not quite factory, man. You ever hear something whistle like while you work? That's what they do.
Everett Havard from Elwood, Illinois, bought this 302 in 1964, 2 months of age. We installed the front wheel assist. This is his first Elwood front wheel drive, and he has 7 more, mostly on international and AC. He loves his 4-wheel drive. Thank you, Everett.
Here's a John Deere B, made in 1948. Raleigh Folkert on the tractor from Delray. Is that Delray, Florida?
No, Delray, you go up by Gilman.
Oh, I always turn off with the Dairy Queen. So
yeah, I see, you're busy eating your ice cream cone when you're going through Del Rey. Doug Hughes from Urbana on that Super M. Doug driving that nice Farmall Super M. Only he's got some kind of hydraulic lever up there, a little handier than yours, Mac.
Coming around the corner there.
I'd say.
Yeah.
The Alice Chalmers, made in 1939. Hayden Hughes has this Alice WC from Toronto. Tom and Hayden own it. Nice umbrella.
Then we've got Wyatt Tier driving Dean Pyatt 1950 Oliver. Wyatt comes to us from Rankin, Illinois. Says it's a 1966. That Jimmy Diesel 453.
Behind that, we got a 1948 Farmall M, Noah Wiedekamp, Farmer City, Illinois. Thank you, Noah. Good to have you here, buddy.
Then we've got a BF Avery owned by Richard Horton, driven by Greg Knott. Greg's a trustee over on the Parkland College board. 1947 BF Avery. Got that hydraulic system on that one there. See that little hydraulic box on the side? Holds about a quart of oil.
John Deere 70 from Lee Randall, and I think he's got Molly at the wheel. Molly, you used them hand clutches? Let me see you do that. I want to see her back up the wagon.
Yeah, we'll get her driving that thing forward and backwards. We'll see if that clutch snaps in. Where's Lee at? He was talking about how she could snap that clutch in and out.
Thank you, Molly.
Then we got Ronnie and Geneva Beck's tractor right here. It's a ZAS 1950, and Ron brought some nice Minneapolis up here for the show. Brought one of the oldest Minneapolises we have, Ron from Gibson City. Thank you, Ron.
There's a Minneapolis Moline JT. Silly me, I thought it was a Twin Cities when I looked out there to begin with.
But it's Minneapolis then.
Bob Miles owned this at Calissa, Illinois, 1935 JT.
The JT was in the lineup, and then they made the Model Z after the JT. That's a lot of the stuff on the rear end became the Model Z. They've changed the engine a lot, so. Then we've got quite the unusual thing.
That's from Collison, Illinois. Collision.
You don't go through Collison very easy, Max, when you're here. You have to be going somewhere to really get to go through Collison.
I've seen the sign.
But you just don't have to turn there, do you?
No, you don't. No. I just kind of blew it off.
They do have a post office yet, though.
Own post office.
1466 front wheel assist right there. Bob Miles. This was a complete nut and bolt restoration, Bob says. Boy, that is.
Thank you.
Got that in his new shop, got that all done, I bet you.
Yeah. You know, when Abby was about 5 or 6 years old, she used to help put fence up here second time.
What happened?
Well,
We need to experience fence one.
Comes in there once in a while.
Oh, yeah. Now this next guy comes to us from Roanoke, Illinois. Steve Rogie, driving an M5 Special. It's got a 6-cylinder in. All the M5s come from the factory with a 4-cylinder. And somebody up north got a little ambitious one day, put a 6-cylinder in there and started pulling this thing. motor stretch. They put a come along on there and stretched it out a little bit. Bill Newland had this thing once upon a time. And Bill was from Prophetstown, and he had a Allison V12 in a G1000 for a long time. Steve Rogie, thank you, Steve.
And speaking of a G1000, this is a G1000 diesel. It's owned by Steve Rogie. Jeremy Gibbs is sitting up on the seat on this 1965 Mini Mo. Pull back on that throttle. Let's hear it. Yeah. Come on.
That's got a deep set of lungs in it, if you can tell, but listen. Like deep throat.
And we got Doug coming up here.
Big 1970 white manufactured tractor. It's a Plainsman model. A4T 1600. Doug Shirt from Metamora. Doug Shirt's owns this, and he owns it, and he's driving it. It is the same as the Minneapolis Moline A4T 1600. It's the same as an Oliver 2655. And this was the feature tractor in the January issue of Heritage Iron Magazine.
And also on the calendar then.
Also on the calendar, all right. Has a 3-point hitch, PTO, air conditioning, radio, all the comforts of home.
Dan and Amanda Hobbs have this Cub lowboy right here. From Williamsport, Indiana, 1960 International Cub lowboy.
I might mention about the next tractors coming up. We're going to try to break that record for tractors around a track at the Nebraska State Fair. August 25th, I'm supposed to be there. They tell me they've got about half the tractors they need. August 25th, Grand Island, Nebraska. Here's a 1972 Case Agri-King, 1070 Agri-King. Jason Fox from Muhammad owns the tractor, 110 horsepower diesel with a standard transmission.
And the next tractor is also a Fox tractor. This is Ryan Fox from Muhammad. 806 gas. 301 gas.
Mr. Chris Carr, the public address announcer, the man you hear all across the grounds who does such a superb job here at Showtime. The pride of Seymour, Illinois. This tractor restored by Kelly Berkey, brought from Herb Beckmeyer, a Coal Division B. Thanks, Chris, for everything you do out here at Showtime. He's going to be participating again in the hog calling contest at the Illinois State Fair in a few days. I think it's his 21st year, something like that.
I think something like that. 21 or 2.
Yeah.
Randy Lanham, owned by Mark Seymour from Muncie. Randy from Oakwood, driving that 1953 UB right there.
Here's the Crescent Family 450. And a lot of us, when we look at the tractor, sure do remember Bruce. Will owns the tractor, of course, now. The driver is Josh, very much in control there. Doing a great job.
And right behind that, we have Calvin Miller on a Louisville Super M, made in Louisville, Kentucky. Not all the M's were made at Rock Island. This one was made in Louisville.
How do you know? How do we know, Russell?
It's got an L on the serial plate.
Is that the only thing that's different?
That's about the only way I know the difference.
They couldn't make them fast enough in Rock Island, so they took the parts to Louisville and assembled them there.